have to.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Hi, Deborah. I'm good.
Pardon my appearance.
Oh, same here. Same here. Just got out of a run, got back here in time for class. How's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for hosting this. Is
Yeah.
it Fernando?
Yes. Yes. Deborah, right?
Correct. You can call me Debbie. That's fine.
Debbie. Debbie's fine. Yeah. Cool. Where are you reaching out from?
He moved me down to Maryland. I'm originally from New York, and the Army moved me down to Maryland quite a few years ago, and I've stayed since.
Okay. What part of Maryland? I used to live there.
Oh, I'm in Mount Airy.
Mom area. Okay. Yeah. I used to live
What
in
area were
Gaithersburg.
you in? In Gaithersburg. Okay, so that's not too far. You sort of know. And I volunteer as a firefighter in Laurel.
No way.
Yeah, so that's more
Laurel.
common. Everybody knows where Laurel is.
Oh my gosh, Laurel, you're bringing back memories. Wow. I used to go to Laurel every morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. when I had food trucks. And there was a warehouse there that sold goods for food truck operators.
Oh, wow.
So I would drive all the way from Gaithersburg to Laurel and from Laurel down to sometimes Northern Virginia where the constructions were.
Oh, how nice is that? I bet everybody was really glad to see you in the mornings.
Yeah, it's probably me plus 100, 200 food truck operators there. Yeah, it was.
Quite the lucrative business right now, I understand.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it was so lucrative. For every dollar we spent, we earned two. So if I was, spending $400 a day, I knew if I sold most of the food, I would sell 800. And at the time I was 18, 19. I mean, it was really good. And, I postponed all the party years of college days to 5 years later.
Right.
But for like 4 years, I did that business and then had a second truck, then a third truck, and I hired people. It was fun.
That
So,
sounds really incredible. Are you listening to this? My 20-year-old is sitting there on the couch and I'm like, there's an idea for you.
totally. It's really lucrative business and you get to experience how people act or how to sell. And selling is a really good thing to do. And it's good to sell to hungry people. They're already hungry.
Yeah.
And they only have 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. So you're in Maryland now. And you said the military moved you there. And this is great because I was just watching a video from my teacher who I learned the PTSD release and the Phobia release from. And in a few minutes, I'm going to replay that video so that we can watch it together. And then you can get an idea of what's possible.
Oh, that would be fabulous.
Yeah. So tell me why you're here. Why are you attending this class?
So as a nurse, let me ask you this too, Fernando. Will you be able to share the recording when you're done?
Yes, absolutely.
That would be fabulous if I could, especially if you're going to play the video. That would be so nice to have access to it. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm here is knowing that, like, I won't worry about trying to capture notes then the entire time.
Yeah.
I have been volunteering as a firefighter since I was like 18 years old. And I have seen so many different people suffer from PTSD, as well as my experience in the military. And I feel so limited in how I can actually assist them. I'm an ER ICU nurse by trade, but I'm actually currently not working in that realm right now. And there's so many more things that I want to be able to do to help my friends and associates who are suffering with PTSD, other than simply talking about it. I know that there are techniques out there that have the ability to break the patterns instantly that counseling has not been able to achieve. And those are the aspects that I'm interested in learning. is to be able to provide people with an instant and like ongoing relief, something that also lasting in effect,
Wonderful.
that it doesn't keep reoccurring.
That's remarkable. Do you so do you see yourself helping them by facilitating the change? Meaning you, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. For the
Okay.
last year, I've been working with a cacao practitioner,
Oh wow.
learning the use of cacao, the plant medicine. I'm drinking some myself every day. Having it, enjoying it right now. How appropriate.
Cheers.
Yes, thank you. It's been a game changer for me, not understanding how much PTSD I even held inside. But this was a very long and intensive process.
Mm-hmm.
And the program that she had designed was originally a 7-week program.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I trained to become a practitioner in the program, we went an additional 6 months, 3 to 6 months.
Mm,
And I'm telling you, the healing was coming at the 3 to 6 months mark.
mm-hmm.
So the 7 weeks only provided an opening. So I saw a lot of limitations. There
Mm,
are clear, distinct benefits to it. But my concern is that it was not in the truly severe cases of the PTSD. And I have a tremendous concern of being able to open people up and then
mm-hmm.
exposing them, especially in a Zoom universe where they
Mm-hmm.
don't have that support at home, and then being concerned for their safety when
Mm-hmm.
we're not interacting face to face.
Mm,
So I
wow.
feel as though there's a lot of, it's a great program and it has its place. But in people with severe cases of, PTSD, it may not be the most efficient. They're going to need something that's a little bit more intense and a little bit more instantaneous and long lasting result. So that I'm looking to continue to increase all the tools available to me so that I can go forward and to assist people who are suffering in this realm.
Oh my goodness. I'm getting goosebumps as you're talking. I
Oh,
think
nobody
you,
deserves to suffer. There's too many tools that are available to us. It's just a matter of spreading the word and training enough people to get it out there so everyone has the access to it.
yeah, I agree with you. Spreading the word, access to everyone. For me, it started with having one, then two, then three, then now I can't even count friends, dear friends in their 20s. So a lot younger than I, who are vets, who are veterans
Mhm.
with PTSD,
Yeah.
who I met, in parties, camping, and social gatherings. We got to become friends and then learn that they have PTSD. And at first, when you meet someone in a social setting, at least the ones I met, I could never tell that they had PTSD, but that we got together, we went camping, spending time, sharing meals. These are young people. And
Mhm.
then I started meeting older people with PTSD. And then it reminded me. And then I started paying attention or being aware of the veterans who are homeless, or the homeless who are veterans, meaning, that a lot of the homeless. So I did a little bit of work with homeless back in 2007, because my best friend from childhood, he started doing the work with, he calls it bring joy to the streets, where he and his church would, the young people would dress up with clown and funny costumes, come to the streets and bring smiles to the homeless population. And then they started taking that one step further, which is to help connect the homeless person with the family, with the intention of them getting back with their family. And they started having success. And this is happening in Brazil. And I was living in Orlando at the time. So I was so inspired. And I thought, I started having that new awareness that whenever I see a homeless person, I remember my best friend. And I'm like, I could do something similar, maybe not, help somehow. So one homeless guy, he came to me. I was leaving, me and my wife at the time, we were leaving a club, 2:30 in the morning. And this homeless comes to me and says, can I get some money for food? And I was like, okay, this is my opportunity. I can make a difference here. And turns out we talked for 30 minutes. I gave him money to go get a bed at a place where they pay very little money to sleep, at a shelter, I think it's called.
Mhm.
And I said, look, you got to call me. I'm going to give you a job. And I think it was either a week or a month later, he finally called me, and then he came to my office, and then I gave him a job of writing signs for real estate. At the time, I was doing a lot of real estate deals. So he would write the signs, "We buy houses, stop foreclosure." And each time he'd come, I had him watch The Secret. And that was a game changer for him.
Wow.
Yeah. And then 6 months later, he said, okay, Fernando, I'm ready to go home to my family. And
That's beautiful.
yeah, I get emotional remembering, because so I found the phone number for his family, for the sister. And then I arranged a call for her to be ready when he called. So he came to my office, we went into the conference room, and then he called her, and it's just so beautiful. 10 years without communication.
Wow.
10 years. And then a month later, he was on a bus from Orlando to North Carolina. And then we kept in touch. Turns out he went from homeless to being a caregiver to his a disabled brother.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
Wow.
it's reminding me like all this thing. So PTSD, even though he was not a veteran, but he was homeless. So I started realizing how, after Robert's experience, how a lot of the homeless that I talked with, they were veterans. So that's really cool. So you talked about tools available, the Zoom universe, your caution with the Zoom universe. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And for the truly severe cases. So we're going to start with a little meditation, and then I'm going to play the video. And the reason for the meditation, so we can get in touch with our parasympathetic system even more, which allows for learning to happen ever more easily and effortlessly. Do you meditate?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So this will be an easy one. We'll probably meditate for 5 minutes or so. So go ahead and get comfy where you are. Have you ever done any type of forgiveness exercises?
Yes, the Ho'oponopono prayer. I know I'm saying it wrong, but
Yeah.
you know which one I'm talking about, right? The
Yes.
Hawaiian prayer. Okay.
Yeah. So my teacher, Dr. Matt James, he's native of Hawaii,
Okay.
and he's the guy that his father is the one that invented a mental emotional release technique, which is used to help reduce or release PTSD. And while he was learning from his father, from Tony Robbins, and from Richard Bandler, which taught most people about releases. Are you familiar with Richard Bandler?
I am not.
Okay, so that's one of the co-founders or the pioneers of NLP, neuro linguistic programming.
Oh gosh, what was the name again?
Richard Bandler.
Okay, sorry, I just didn't recognize the name.
Yeah, so Tony Robbins learned from him.
Yes.
And then my teacher learned from both the source and also Tony Robbins. And then my teacher's father had the opportunity, living in Hawaii, to be passed down a lineage of spiritual teachings that are Hawaiian called Huna.
Okay.
And in Huna, there is the Ho'oponopono.
Gotcha.
So they're connected through 28 generations, the same teachings for 28 generations. So when you say Ho'oponopono, I was like, I have to share with you that my teacher has that from the source.
Holy mackerel. It always amazes me, and I just have to recognize in the moment how the universe connects people. I mean, and we're the only two on this call.
Yeah.
You could have hung up. You could have been like, oh, nobody's coming. Goodbye. But you didn't. Thank you.
No, yeah. Some people say, Fernando, you're asking too many questions on your registration page and all this. I'm like, no, I'm attracting the right people.
That's right. That's right. And I want you to know too, I shared that on my Facebook last night, and I sent direct messages to some of my friends who truly need to be here. And after experiencing this, I'm going to do the same again with them. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I just wanted to comment too. I know you talked about like the homeless and vets, and sometimes I feel like PTSD is almost like a musical ability or a foreign language. You don't know that people, you can't see in them that they understand multiple different languages and can speak them. You can't see that somebody is a proficient, piano player or guitar player. But then, they deal with that, and it's just inside. And PTSD is like that. It's this invisible force that's inside of them. And if it's just guided through the right instruments, it can be turned into something that can be a source of strength and courage and beauty in them, if it can be guided the proper way.
Yeah, I believe that too. And yes, totally believe that too. I feel very blessed right now because someone like you, you've been a firefighter volunteer since 18 years old.
Yes. And I'm 51 now.
You're 51?
I'm 51 and a half. So it's been a long time that I've been in this field. And I started volunteering in hospitals at age 13. I remember at age 13 experiencing the first death of a patient that I was close with.
Oh my goodness.
The first code when I was volunteering as an emergency medical technician was my neighbor's husband. So, like the calls that I experienced could produce the PTSD, right? It doesn't have to be always a war scenario. It's anything that produces significant emotional experience for somebody at a time when they're not equipped to deal with and process it. Right?
Yeah. You're right. It doesn't have to be, and what my teacher calls them is the SEEs, or the significant emotional events. Sometimes it could be one event to cause a PTSD, which he calls extreme phobia. So he has fear, phobia, and then PTSD.
Sure.
Sometimes it takes one time, sometimes it takes a series of events. And then after it happens maybe 3-4 times, maybe it's the fourth time that will create the PTSD, not the first or the second or third.
So true.
Cool. Oh, I wanted to, regarding connecting, how did you learn about this class?
I think it was through email. That's a really good question, because I saw that. I'm going to have to think back on that, because I had been away for a couple of days and I was still scouring through some of my emails. And I think that's where I saw it. And I wondered why I didn't see it earlier, actually.
Emails.
So I'm not sure if it was.
I don't think I've sent emails, unless it was because, are you part of the Platt community?
I am.
Okay, perfect. So it's probably the calendar or Discord.
Maybe that's how. So while I was in wherever we just came from, Florida, Chris put me onto the calendar. So maybe that's why I got an email saying that this event's coming up or something. And I was like, how did I not see this before? So maybe that's how. That could be. Again, like I'm just cleaning up what was going on in the computer while I was away from it.
So I'm learning something here. So I didn't know that people get, if you're subscribed to the Platt calendar, that you get an email each time an event is posted.
And don't quote me, because maybe I looked at my calendar and said, what is this PTSD event?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or it could be that way too.
Okay, cool.
I'll try to remember it, because of course it was like really late last night when I was looking at it.
It's like, what am I going to do tomorrow? What's in store
and I
for me?
think that's what happened, is I looked at the calendar and said, what is on the calendar for tomorrow? And then I saw the PTSD.
This is perfect. My thinking with it was, I'm going to do it on Mondays, because I'm thinking militaries and veterans, for this class. At first it was called something else. It was called Military Monday. And like I didn't get any registration. So I'm like, maybe I'll change.
Right, right.
Cause,
And you're
cause I'm,
Pacific time frame, correct?
what's that?
Are you in the Pacific time zone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's just, I'm staying at home building businesses now. So it depends on your avatar and what they're doing. You may need to do things that are either earlier in the morning and start the day with just a quick exercise, or maybe even later at night. But yeah, we can certainly, I can certainly help you with some marketing and some thoughts and some ideas. It's tough trying to hit all the different time zones for sure.
Oh, so good. Yes, I love that. And yesterday there was a Carrie. She presented to the Platt community yesterday, and it was regarding vision. And
Mm,
I was her volunteer. And the vision I lacked was in hiring, and more specifically hiring a sales manager. And she was like, Fernando, it seems like you don't like selling, or you're missing the skill set of selling. And I said, yes. And I love teaching. I could get into selling, and I love to have a partner or a sales manager to do the selling instead of me doing it.
right.
And then, so what I realized is that I had a conflict between, if I am successful, will I be freed? Freedom.
Mm,
And freedom is my identity for what I teach. So the game of life and
yeah.
releasing PTSD, releasing negative emotions, is freedom to be, do, and have whatever you want. So, so she helped. I highly recommend that if you're building businesses.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Chris posted the Vimeo recording today on Discord.
Thank you. All right. I'll
Yeah.
have to check it out. So you're an active plat right now?
Yes.
Will
Yeah.
you be at Date with Destiny in Florida in a couple weeks?
Oh my goodness. No, I'm going to be here somewhere in South Florida.
Okay.
There's a few options that I have. I haven't even put the date of destiny in my calendar. So that's,
Because
I
I
need
was
to
going to
do.
say, I would love to connect with you. Because I do plan to go to that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Awesome. We're connecting right now.
Yes.
So let me queue up. Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna I found the video that I'm gonna play.
Yeah. And I interrupted you before you started the meditation. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. I think I interrupted you more times than you interrupted me.
Well, you know what? The universe is leading us to exchange information when we need to. It's all good, right? No judgment.
Yes, yes, it totally. I'm very very excited right now. Very excited because I
Yeah.
think it's really good that we're having this meeting. So let me queue these up, and then I'm gonna. Oh, that's what I do. Move to a new window. Cool. So I set
And
that up.
I'm glad that now that I understand how it is that I made this connection with you. So it's through the plat world, because there's so many different psychologists that are in plat who are dealing specifically with PTSD, and they're not here today. I don't, why not? The more tools we have, the better we are.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yes.
Good to know. Awesome.
I'll reach out to him too.
So the reason I asked you about forgiveness exercise,
Mhm.
I've been experimenting within the meditation after a few minutes of silence to do a forgiveness exercise. It's not Ho'oponopono. It's an imagery exercise, and I like for us to do that. One of the reasons is because I like to extend forgiveness myself. So it could be when I start the leading the forgiveness exercise, you can choose yourself or you can choose someone else.
Okay.
And if you feel like you don't have anyone to forgive, then you can chunk up, meaning you can think of groups.
Okay.
You can think of even, I mean, you've been doing cacao ceremony, so you could be thinking of past lives. You could be thinking of baggage that's passed down genealogically. You could think of generations, future generations, past generations. So you could play with that. So yeah, cool. So let's do that. So let's start with the meditation. So we're going to start with 4 deep breaths, and we're going to when we exhale, we're going to exhale ha. So let's close our eyes. Take the first deep breath together. One more. Excellent. Continue breathing normally. If you have a mantra or a prayer, you may start now. And if you don't, I invite you to pay attention to the air around your hands, face, and the air coming in through your nose and out through your nose. I invite you to connect even deeper to your intention. What is your intention for this class? And what's your intention for today? We're now going to start the forgiveness exercise. And it's very simple. I'd like for you to imagine a source of healing energy coming from up above, pouring into your head, down your shoulders, down your spine, down your legs, down your feet, completely healing you. Allow that energy from up above, this powerful, loving, healing energy. It may be white, it may be pink, it may be whatever color you choose to receive this beautiful healing energy coming from up above, through your head, neck, shoulder, back, hips, legs, and feet, completely healing you. Now notice a different energy, a grounding energy coming from the center of the earth, shooting up through the earth to your feet, legs, hips, belly, chest, head, and both energies working together to completely heal you. Now I'd like for you to double both energies. Notice what happens to your body. Allow the overflow of energy to start building up around your heart, or around your heart chakra, or around your chest. And now, I'd like for you to bring up to your mind's eye, in front of you, the memory of the person that you'd like to forgive. It can be someone you interacted with today, yesterday, or a long time ago. Simply bring up the memory of that person. It can be yourself as well. If you're forgiving yourself, bring the memory of that old version of yourself and bring that picture to your mind's eye, and let the picture be black and white, fuzzy, defocused. And as you have that picture in front of you, the picture of the memory of the person you're forgiving, I'd like for you to allow the overflow of healing energy you have been building up around your heart to shoot out through your heart to the memory, to that picture of that person you are forgiving. Allow the overflow of energy to simply shoot out through your heart into that picture, into that memory, completely healing that memory. Notice what happens to the picture. Notice it becoming more colorful, brighter, focused. Notice the healing occurring at the neurological level of that memory. Allow the memory to heal completely. As you extend healing and forgiveness, notice what happens to you. Completely heal that memory. Extend forgiveness to that person, to the memory of that person. And notice the person being completely healed. Completely healed. Excellent. Allow the image, that picture, that memory to fade away into the source, into the healing source from up above. Allow the picture, the memory to fade away and float away into the source of the healing energy. Excellent. Notice how you feel. Notice how you're thinking. Notice any sounds, any inner conversations, how the quality of the conversations, thoughts, and feelings have changed. Excellent. Allow the integration to take place at the neurological level. Wonderful. We're now going to take 4 deep breaths to come out of this meditation. Let's take the first one together. One more. Excellent. Start moving your toes, your fingers, squeeze your hands, open your hands. Move your shoulders, shake your shoulders, move your head side to side, front and back. Start coming back to now, back into the room, and slowly open your eyes when you're ready. How was that?
Amazing.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Welcome, Kareem. We just finished the meditation. Hopefully you were not waiting too long there. We had our eyes closed.
And Fernando, as you were providing the verbal cues, it was like right on target with exactly what I was experiencing during the meditation. It was amazing. Like the color came in right as you're saying, you may notice the color. Just absolutely awesome. Hi, Kareem. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Welcome, Kareem. Where are you reaching out us from?
I am currently in Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston. Welcome. And how did you hear about this class?
Well, I got connected with you through the Happy Neighborhood Network event uh,
Yes.
last week, I believe. So, and I was just scrolling through the site that you had sent me, and I'm like, wow, all these different classes. And I didn't pick PTSD. I picked the limiting beliefs, but I believe nothing happens on coincidence by coincidence, and maybe I'm meant to be in this class because I was involved in a car accident earlier this year, and before that I had COVID, so those were very traumatic events. thank you. It was a very traumatic event, and I
It-
still struggle with that. So yes.
oh, you're very welcome. You know, when I saw your last name on the list of registrations, I thought, I wonder if he is either Portuguese or Brazilian, because in where I'm from, are you?
All right, so I went to school with a lot of Brazilians, and I grew up in a Portuguese town, but I am Cape Verdean.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. So
You speak Portuguese there, right?
we
Oh
speak
no.
Creole,
Oh, Creole.
but
Sorry.
yes.
Okay, Creole. All
Yep.
right. I was thinking of a different country in Africa. I need to get my history straight. Okay, awesome. So Creole. Perfect. Do you still speak it?
I do not.
Okay.
My father was like the generation that came to America, and he just didn't, teach his children, the language. But my nanas, they still do. I plan on actually. I bought three language books. One French, one Brazilian Portuguese, and the
There you go.
other is Spanish. So I plan on learning. Yes.
Wonderful. Welcome. Thanks for coming in. I noticed you did register for the other class, and with the business growing so fast, I booked both classes at the same time, not realizing what I did.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I just what
So
I do. Like,
so yeah, I realized this morning, like, wait, two classes at the same time. So that's why I sent you the link to this one, because there were more registrants for this one than your class. So awesome. So what we just did, Kareem, is we did a meditation. The reason I do meditations to start is for us to get connected to the parasympathetic system. Some call it the unconscious mind or the subconscious mind. And it's basically the mind that keeps the body alive. It can handle 11 million bits of information per second. For instance, right now it's probably growing our nails, our hair, probably growing more of your hair, Deborah, than my hair. and and so we want to connect to that mind. Why? Because the conscious mind can handle about 100 bits of information per second. So 100 bits of information per second versus 11 million. 11 million versus 100. So meditation is one of the tools to get there or to get more connected. In one another class I teach, the Wednesday class, it's the intuition class. We go into depth into connecting even deeper to to that mind, to the unconscious mind or parasympathetic system, so that we can make decisions from that mind. Since it has been recording, if you get your camera and start recording videos, imagine your unconscious mind being that camera that has been recording since before you were born. Your heart has been beating before you were born.
Mm.
So meditation helps us get there. Another thing that helps us get there is forgiveness. So we did one version. I did, after practicing several versions of forgiveness exercises, I been experimenting with my own version, which is the one we just did. How was that for you, Deborah?
It was incredible. So, Kareem, I do meditate. I'm from Maryland. Nice to meet you. I volunteer as a firefighter, work as a nurse, and building some businesses. Fernando and I have come in contact with one another through other business associates, and I'm developing a practice of cacao meditation and looking to add more tools to my toolbox and healing people with PTSD and severe traumas that come about throughout my practice that I have with them in the coaching. So, I've been meditating for a while. And for me, I always see my source. It always seems to show up in almost the color of the purple that's on your collar, the inside of your collar. It's this beautiful violet and fuchsia. And as Fernando was guiding the meditation and mentioning what I may experience next, it was like occurring at the same exact times. And with the colors that were being added and then experiencing it and seeing it fade away. And I've been in meditations that take several hours. We seem to go forever at times. You don't feel it at the moment, But this was just a quick 5-minute one that he just did, Kareem. And I'm telling you, just as effective. Short, extremely effective. And that's the ultimate goal, right? Is the functionality of it and the effectiveness of it. So kudos to you. It was just beautiful. Amazing.
Yeah, thanks, Deborah. Thank you. I believe it's total co-creation. Seriously, like the more I do this, the more I realize this is co-creation. It's like whoever is in the meeting and the energy that's we're doing together. Like, and this morning as I was getting ready to set the intention for the day, which is hiring a sales manager, I was going through the summary of a book, The Five Dysfunctions of a Team, and then which the author then wrote, I believe, the ideal team player, and just going through that, it helped me realize how I was not being an ideal team player. So right here, we're creating a team for this small period of time.
Yeah.
We're creating a team. So so let's move on to continue this. We could talk for hours, and we don't have hours today. We're gonna watch. We're gonna watch my teacher, Dr. Matt, do a phobia release, and the reason that we're gonna watch him do it is because, just like what you said, Deborah, earlier, in a Zoom universe, you want to have caution of when the person is ready to go into the to release, okay? And so instead of me doing the demonstration now, I wanted to do it, have you and whoever's here have a taste of how my teacher does it, where I learned it from, and then for maybe a second or third class later, then with someone that has been already coming to the classes, I can do the live demonstration. Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
So we're going to go to Zoom, share screen. Come here. And let's see what this one is called. Oh, okay, so it's Firefox. So we'll go to Firefox. It's called NLP Demos with Dr. Matt. This is so fascinating how we can be connected, to you both on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast, and we can have this. Is amazing. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful.
Snakes of all things. Okay. Isn't this appropriate for me? Wow.
So notice we're going to, well, we're going to do here. So NLP.com is is my teacher's business. That's where I got my certifications from. I highly recommend going through at least the practitioner certification course. It used to be $4,000. Now they only do scholarships, and it's $200. It's a four weekend certification course, and if you use my code, you get 50% off. So it'd be $100. So you should go send your employees, your kids, your husband, your wife. I mean, just send your friends. Just send them there, even if they don't want to be a practitioner, because some of the tools that you're gonna see here, not specifically releasing phobia, but how to release things at the root cause, will help people tremendously. So I highly recommend that for anyone. Plus, he's the only teacher that I know that teaches empowerment and also teaches forgiveness. So very cool. Yeah, it's really, yeah, and he's teaching from the lineage of Huna, meaning from Hawaii. So he's from the original source. So let's watch this. You're gonna see how fun he gets and is, and I've implemented that in my practice too. So even though I may be helping someone release their childhood trauma or trauma from recently, I incorporate a lot of fun energy too, because releasing baggage doesn't have to be serious. It can be fun as well. So let's watch this. And and take notes.
Okay, I think that's a strong fear. I don't know if it's a full-blown phobia yet. So there's another technique that will be able to help you out with that, okay? So hang on, let me check around. Let me see who else. Hand back there, I know your hand went up. What was that? Snakes. Snakes. Do you know the root cause of it? What was the first event? Okay.
The audio will get better.
Okay, so if you know that there's a snake around now at this point, what do? How is your reaction to it? You run. Okay, to me, this is probably the more intense of the ones that we got. What was your name? What's your name? Elisa? Elisa, would you like to release this? Yes? Would you like to let this go? Are you sure? 100%? Yes? You have to come on up. Elisa, give her a hand. Come on up. I gotta make sure I give her a good demo. Hang on.
Real quick, the reason I'm doing this one before doing a PTSD demo is because, as we shared before, there's fear, then there's phobia, and there's PTSD. So I didn't know who was going to be in the room today. So starting with phobia first before going to the PTSD. So that's why we're watching a phobia demo first.
Lisa, okay, come on. Go ahead and have a seat in this chair. How are you doing? Okay, that's okay. Thank you for coming up here. I appreciate it. Okay, so, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure that I get the root cause, and then we're going to get going as quickly as we can. Oh, wait, I need to make sure I follow through, yeah, on this. Did you do the anchoring exercise? Yeah, which knuckle did you use for that one there? Okay, just put it on your lap then. If anything, if I need to touch that to help out, then I will, okay? And that's just going to be a resource anchor to help out, if anything. Is there anything that you've ever done that the first time you did it well?
Yeah.
What?
Fight.
What?
I made a competition and in the first place.
Oh, wait, like a, oh,
Karate.
oh, really?
Yeah.
You did Olympic karate and you, well, I'll make sure I do a good job with this then. You did first place in karate. Jeez. Okay, you're,
It's just technique. My kick is not strong. But
Yeah.
I have a good technique.
nice, okay, well, I'll do a really good job here then. Okay, now here's what I want to tell you. Just like that competition where you won, that's how easy this process is. When people do it, the first time they do it really well. Okay? Yeah? So here's what I want to ask you. What age, I'm sorry, let me grab a pen. So it's snakes. Okay. And what age did the event occur? 16. So at the age of 16, and you said it was your backpack.
Yeah.
Reach behind.
Yeah, my friends, they put a dead snake.
They put a dead snake in your backpack.
So usually I had it here in the
Yeah.
back, so
Yeah.
I needed to. They make sure that I had an open outside, so I reached to get a pen.
Uh-huh.
And then I felt warm.
Okay.
And instead of let go, I drive it and
Yeah.
I hold it like this and I run like crazy.
Okay. And so ever since then, events that have occurred then, okay, so here's what I want to do now. I want to help you release this. Just a couple of things. The timeline. You understand the idea of the timeline? So inside your mind, at the unconscious level, you have a line that's all your memories. From the past, now, the future. What we're going to do is we're just going to have you imagine. You're going to close your eyes, and you're not yet, but you're going to float up above your timeline. Have you ever been to a movie theater? You've been to the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You've been to the movie theater. Hang on, no, it's okay. Here, hang on to these. That's okay. You've been to a movie theater, yeah? Okay. When we get above your timeline, I'm going to have you create a movie theater above your timeline. I'm going to guide you each step of the way. I'm going to be right here with you, okay? And just like going to a movie theater, We're going to run the movie of what occurred back and forth until it's all gone. And it'll be gone. It's going to move real fast, okay? So you ready? You ready to do this? Okay, go ahead and close your eyes. And what I'd like you to do is go ahead and get in touch with your timeline. Yeah, so just imagine your timeline there, a line of all of your memories going out into the future, now all the way back into the past. So imagine all of those memories there in your timeline. You got it? And imagine you're right there in the now of your timeline. Okay, and what I want you to do is float up above your timeline. Float up above your timeline. That should begin to get a little bit more comfortable, yeah, when you float up above your timeline. If you're doing this and you can actually see your timeline or even imagine seeing your timeline, make sure that you're looking through your own eyes when you do this, okay? Okay. What I want you to do now is float out into the past. So just imagine you're floating above your timeline into the past and all the memories are going there beneath you. And I want you to float all the way back to the age of 16 to the event that created the phobia of the snakes, the root cause which, when disconnected, will allow the phobia to disappear easily and effortlessly. Let me know when you're there above the event. Okay? Now what I'd like you to do is go ahead and float before the event so that the event is below you and in front of you. And you imagine your timeline is stretching all the way out into the future in front of you. Let's imagine that you're just floating right there above your timeline. All of the events are in front of you. Do you understand? Okay. Is that more comfortable there now? Excellent. Now what we're going to do is while you are there above your timeline, stay in that position before the event that occurred that created the phobia of the snakes. What I want you to do is imagine there above your timeline that you're in a movie theater. Yeah, imagine that you're sitting there in a movie theater and you're in the chair in the movie theater. The movie hasn't started yet. The screen is blank. Okay? And what I want you to do is leave your body in the seat in the movie theater. And imagine that you're floating up out of your body and float up into the projection. Where the projector is, where they run the movie. Let me know when you're there. Okay? Great. Now you're in the projection booth. You're in charge of the projector. And what I want you to do is look down at yourself in the theater. Imagine that you're watching yourself there in the theater. Okay? You're watching yourself in the theater, watching the movie. You got it all set up? Excellent. Now what we're going to do in a moment, I'm going to have you start the movie of the event that created the phobia. And I'm going to have you run the movie forward in black and white, like an old black and white film. Okay? Are you ready? Excellent. So you're in charge, you're running the projector, go ahead and start the movie and run the movie forward in black and white all the way to the end. You're in the projector, watching yourself in the theater, run the movie forward in black and white all the way to the end and all the way past the experience. And let me know when it's done. Excellent. Now what I'd like you to do is freeze the frame and black out the screen. You ever seen the screen just go all black? Okay, great. Now what we're going to do is, we're going to go into the memory now, freeze the memory, freeze it. We're going to go into the memory and we're going to rewind it in color. Like you're rewinding a VCR, you know, you're rewinding a VCR or a tape. You ever seen that rewind where even the lines are going across the screen and whatnot? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a fast rewind, go into the event, yeah, into the memory. You're looking through your own eyes. And what I'd like you to do now is rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. Go ahead, go into the event, rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. Rewind it now. And then when it gets to the beginning. Okay? Excellent. Now what I'd like you to do is freeze the frame of the movie, freeze the movie, float back into the movie theater, up into the projection booth, so that you're in the projection booth again looking at yourself in the theater. Let me know when you've done that, just like you did before, okay? Now go ahead and run the movie in black and white all the way to the end. Run it forward in black and white all the way to the end. Movie in black and white all the way to the end. Let me know when it's done. Yes? Okay, great. Freeze it, black it out, black the screen out, make it go all dark. Now go into the memory, just like you did before. Looking through your own eyes, go into the memory of the event that created the phobia and rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. Okay? Freeze the movie. Go back up into the projection booth, looking at yourself in the theater. Back into the projection booth, looking at yourself, run the movie forward in black and white all the way to the end. Okay? White out the screen this time. Just make the whole screen go white out. Okay? Go into the memory now, looking through your own eyes, and rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. Okay? Go back up into the projection booth now, looking at yourself in the theater. Run the movie forward in black and white all the way to the end. Okay? Go ahead and go into the memory now and rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. Okay? Go back up into the projection booth, looking at yourself in the theater, movie forward in black and white all the way to the end. Okay? Go into the memory now and rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. Okay. Back up into the projection booth now. Run the movie forward in black and white all the way to the end. Watch yourself in the theater. Forward in black and white all the way to the end. Okay. Go into the memory now. Rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. Back up into the projection booth, looking at yourself in the theater. Run it forward in black and white all the way to the end. Freeze the frame, light it up, go back up into the, or going into the memory now. Go into the memory, rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. How's that beginning to feel, by the way? Better? You want to run it a couple more times to make sure it's completely gone? Yeah? Okay, go ahead and go back up into the projection booth, looking down at yourself in the theater. Run the movie forward in black and white all the way to the end. Okay? Freeze the frame, white it out, associate into the memory, rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. Back up into the projection booth. Run the movie forward in black and white all the way to the end. Go ahead and associate into the memory and rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. I can't tell. Are you beginning to smile at this point? Okay, wait, we're not done yet. Hold on. Keep your eyes closed. We're not done yet. Again, I just want to check. I want to check while you're there above your timeline. Has the phobia completely released? I'm getting tired. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, just check real quick. Has the phobia completely released? Is it gone? Okay, wait. Can we test with the memory? It's okay. Remaining there above your timeline, what I want you to do is just let the whole movie theater and everything just disappear. You know, let the movie theater disappear, let everything disappear. Here's what I'd like you to do. Are you comfortable going down into the memory in your timeline to test? Would that be all right? Okay. Here's what I'd like you to do. Float right down into your timeline. Go right down into the memory. And I want you to check to make sure. Remember, the memory may still be there. I want you to check for the feeling. Has it completely disappeared? Has it completely released? Is there any of it left? No. Is there any of the feeling left? The emotion, the phobia? Can you check and test? I want to make sure it's completely gone. Is there any of the phobia, the fear, anything left? Yes, sir. Can we run the movie theater one more time then to make sure it's completely gone? Yeah, let's run it maybe 2 more times. 2 more times, we good? Okay, good. Float back up above your timeline to before the event so that the event is below you and in front of you. Make the movie theater again. Let's move it a little bit faster this time now, okay? So you're in the movie theater, go up into the projection booth, looking at yourself in the theater, run the movie of the event that created the phobia forward in black and white, all the way to the end. Okay? Freeze it, black it out, go into the memory now, and rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. So go into the memory, looking through your own eyes, rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. You want to do it one more time? Okay, go back up into the projection booth, looking at yourself in the theater. Forward in black and white all the way to the end. Okay, freeze white it out. Okay, and go into the memory and rewind it in color all the way back to the beginning. Okay, wait, hold on, I got a test. Hang on now. I know you're having fun in the theater and everything. Okay, make the movie theater disappear. Remain above your timeline. I want you to float down into the memory now of the event that created this, and I want you to make sure it's completely gone. Has it completely released? Yeah? Okay, hold on, we're not done yet. Hang on just a second now. Float back up above your timeline. Okay? Go to before the event and any chain of events, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to float back to now and release all of the rest of the fear and the phobia on each subsequent event. Preserve any learnings that you need to preserve. Preserve any positive learnings. Float back above your timeline only as quickly as your unconscious mind can let go of all the rest of the fear, the phobia on each subsequent event. Preserve the learnings and float all the way back to now above your timeline. Just let all of that fear go on each subsequent event, just like that domino effect. Let all the rest of those events just release all of that fear and phobia on each event, all the way back to now. And come on back down into now, and come on back into the room. Go ahead, open your eyes. So what about snakes? It's not embarrassing. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. So how do you feel about snakes?
They're good.
Oh boy.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure, I couldn't come out and say, hey.
So you could have just grabbed his neck and slung him around. Okay, yeah, sure. That's exactly. I bet someone laughing with you. That is fantastic. So I think it's gone. What do you think? Think so?
Oh my God.
Okay, can I just, I'm going to do one thing. I just really want to make sure, okay? Go ahead and close your eyes for a second. And I want you to float out into the future. Go up above your timeline and float out into the future to an event where if it had happened in the past, you would have had that crazy, unwarranted, unwanted response to a snake or something. What do you do instead? You laugh. That's fantastic. Okay. Yeah, it was just a joke. That's all it was. It was a joke. Oh, that's fantastic. Can we give her a hand? Your whole life? Almost your whole life.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Give her a hand.
So how was that?
That was really cool.
That
Right?
was wow.
Yeah. So that's what's possible. That's what's available for phobias. The PTSD version is very similar. We just need more prep. So for the PTSD version is very similar. We just need more preparation. I've seen Dr. Matt do the PTSD release in 10 minutes. However, it was during 4-day classes. So the people already are in the environment. The people are there ready to do the work, ready to release. So for people that are not in this environment, we may need a little bit more time with them, either in the classes that I do, releasing negative emotions or limiting beliefs, to watching videos like this from Dr. Matt before we can do one over Zoom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Deborah, I think you'd love Dr. Matt's classes. I think you really, it'd be beneficial for you tremendously because all the techniques there are effective. He shows, he does the demos, and then we practice with the students at the classes that are getting certified. And it only takes the first practitioner course is 4 days. The master practitioner is 14 days. Life changer, best investment I've ever made in my education. I think you would enjoy knowing that you want to use your cacao ceremony to help people with
Yeah.
PTSD and helping your colleagues and people that you've been working with in your industry of being there, the first responders. So cool. I just realized that I didn't time correctly. So this is 17 minutes over. I want to be respectful of time. So next time, either I'll make it 90 minutes or I'll just, make it shorter. Any questions or any comments before we?
Well, I appreciate you respecting time, but I'm sure a lot of that had to do with just you and I enjoying connecting with one another.
Oh, yeah.
It's all good. I appreciate that. But
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
responsibility in that too. I recognize that.
Indeed, indeed. Any questions, Kareem?
No, I'm definitely gonna do some research on it. And I can understand why not the phobia, the PTSD could take so long because, you know, that could be a really, really traumatic experience.
Yeah.
You want to be in like a safe space.
Yeah, yeah.
Go back into that. So, and I don't even think I'm ready right now to actually, you know, reflect on that time. So,
Yeah, so remember when Dr. Matt said, he asked her, "Are you comfortable going down floating down into the memory?"
mm,
If she would have said no, he would have said he would have done another technique to help her release fear at an earlier event, because this happened at 16 years old, and most of the work we do for releasing negative emotions, it's usually before 3 years old. It's usually 3 years old or before. Conscious mind cannot remember it, so it's an unconscious process. Actually, most of the time is passed down genealogically, so it's not even from this lifetime. It comes in the DNA from a different generation. So when he said it doesn't mean that the PTSD session lasts longer. It's just that the prep may last longer. The preparation for it, the release itself, it's about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So it's short. The preparation may be a little longer. Make sense?
Yeah. Is there a different technique for releasing the genealogical PTSD as opposed to what, I mean, if people aren't even aware of it, right?
Yeah, no, it's the same. There's a question we ask, what's the root cause? the first event, which when disconnected will cause the PTSD to disappear, or the negative emotion or the limiting belief? Was it before,
Okay.
during, or after your birth? Before, during, or after birth?
Wow.
And for people to answer that, they have to have been prepped to be connected to the unconscious mind. So first thing comes to mind, before, okay, in the womb or before, genealogically or past lives. Genealogical, how many generations ago? 3. It's so, you know,
Wow.
in my classes for the other classes that do release work, I, you know, have an exercise about 5 minutes where we get used to asking the unconscious mind questions and getting answers. It's not a conscious process, you know. So and being okay with the answer, like, where did that answer come from? Just trust it. And then another question, answer, where did that come from? Just trust it. And being okay with trusting the unconscious mind or the heart or intuition. So, and what I'm getting present to is that this PTSD theme is so important. Instead of having 1 time a week, I'm gonna have 3 times a week. So after this class, I'm gonna go into Zoom and I'm gonna set one up for Wednesday and Friday. So it'll be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then as you return, both of you, and bring people, then I can, if any of you want to release, then I can do it live, because you are, you know, you've been prepped. And then you may find yourself laughing hysterically, just like the snake lady laughing from releasing. So very
Yeah.
excited for you.
Incredible.
Yeah, right. It's pretty incredible. So invite your loved ones, invite your friends, your colleagues, and anyone that can get benefit from this. And I really appreciate you showing up. You know, value your
Thank
time.
you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom and knowledge and sharing your gifts.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Deborah. Kareem. The website is bluesealion.com. Bluesealion.com is where all the classes are. And if you know anyone who is ready, who feels like, okay, I need special attention, I do offer one-on-ones. And after the 4th week of one-on-ones, we go into this thing right here. Because there's only so much baggage a person has. After the 4th week, is like, okay, it's time to play the game of life. So we start creating, designing the game of life for the person without the baggage, because they, you know, it's pretty cool. So baggage is limited; it's not unlimited. So
Great.
cool. And people ask me, will I ever have baggage again? Only if you grow. So if you have baggage again, it means that you're growing, which is good, but then you have tools and techniques to release them quickly. So after you do all the release work, it'll be super simple to release new baggage. And if you have new baggage, it means, means I'm growing. It's either improving a relationship, leaving a relationship, or starting a relationship, or a business, or projects. So it gets to a point where, like, you celebrate if you find new baggage. If someone rubs you the wrong way, you go, oh, I got to release something there. You know, so it's like, that means that I'm expanding, I'm growing. So cool. We could be here for hours. We don't have hours. Deborah, Kareem, thank you so much. BlueSeaLion.com. Share it with friends and family. And I'll see you all on the next class.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.